Check, check. Mr. Mayor, 6 o'clock and the meeting's yours.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Manager. I will now call to order the Riverside City Council meeting for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Denning?
Here.
Ms. Fry?
Here.
Mr. Joseph?
I guess. Yes.
Ms. Lobach?
Yes.
Mr. Maxfield?
Present.
Mayor Williams?
Here. All members present, no need to excuse anyone. Mr. Manager, any additions or corrections to the agenda as published?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Lomach and a second from Mr. Brown to approve the agenda as published. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Agenda is approved. If you're able, please join us to rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have several special guests with us tonight, and I believe at this time we're going to turn it over to Major Jackson,
Chief, Acting Chief.
Acting Chief.
And I'll go ahead and unmute that microphone.
Unmute that microphone
as well,
as she
I'm
approaches the podium.
Notorious for that.
Oh, I think it's working.
Excellent.
I appreciate your time tonight and letting us do this tonight, Council. Kyle, could you come on up? You can stand right here. Hi, this is, this is Kyle Fogel. He came from Kettering Health Network to our agency. Kyle was raised in Georgia and graduated in 2012. I read that today and I was like, 2012, I was in my 40s. So you're like, oh, that stung a little bit. But he served 4 years in the Army as a medic. He attended a police academy in 2017 and has been a police officer for 7 years. He has 2 children, Henry and Lily, has 2 dogs, a cat. He enjoys boxing, football, chess, and hanging out with his family. So this is Kyle Fogel.
All right. All right. Put this right here for a cheat sheet for both of us.
All right.
All right, so, Kyle, if you could please raise your right hand. I, Kyle A. Fogel,
I, Kyle A. Fogel,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the State of Ohio,
and of the State of Ohio,
and will obey the laws
and will obey the laws
thereof,
thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
uphold and enforce
uphold and enforce
the provisions of the Charter
the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of
and ordinances of
the City of Riverside, Ohio,
the City of Riverside, Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police officer,
of a police officer,
of which I'm about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Do you want to get City of Riverside in the background? We set it up just for that.
Is your family here?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a picture while,
Henry Lily?
Kyle, which hospital?
and that's mom and dad? They
Okay. Yeah, my wife works at Southview, so is it?
Thank you.
Sorry, kick that a little hard.
It's gonna be another one. Yeah.
Courtney? This is Courtney Mackey. She's a hometown girl, so very proud of her. Courtney grew up in Riverside and graduated from Stephens High School. While in high school, she joined the Law Enforcement Explorer Program with Five Rivers Metro Park in 2017 and served for 3 years. She attended Sinclair Community College, where she received her associate's degree in criminal justice science law enforcement. During this time, she did a internship with us and had to spend 120 hours, but she came back. Before attending the police academy, she worked for the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, where she was part of the crisis intervention team. She started the police academy in January of 2025 and completed it and graduated June of 2025. She enjoys hiking and playing with her dogs. This is Courtney Mackey.
All right. It's kind of a cheat sheet for us if we need it. All right, so Courtney, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Courtney L. Mackey,
I, Courtney L. Mackey,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Ohio,
and of the state of Ohio,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
uphold and enforce
uphold and enforce
the provisions of the Charter
the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of
and ordinances of
the City of Riverside, Ohio,
the City of Riverside, Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police officer,
of police officer,
of which I'm about to enter.
of which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
So tonight,
That's okay, he's coming
we
back.
got this, right? This is Michael Ruckel. He's being promoted to sergeant tonight, and I'm very proud. All right, we got this. Michael was hired as a part-time officer in 2002, or I'm sorry, 2002, then promoted to full-time officer in February of 2003. He's been with Riverside for 23 years. He began FTO, that means training officers, in 2005, and he also became our evidence technician in 2005. He spent time as an OIC, and recently, mostly this year, he's been an acting sergeant or officer in charge of the road for day shift for many, many months. He spent a year in the detective section, but he's been a solid force at this department for a very long time, and very proud of him. But he also, so when I asked him what he did in his spare time, he said modeling and whatever his wife tells him. So I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud to.
Smart man.
Very proud of you. And I'm very glad that you're becoming a sergeant today.
All right. Officer Ruckel, please raise your right hand. I, Michael R. Ruckel, Sr.,
I, Michael R. Ruckel, Sr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Ohio,
and of the state of Ohio,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and will obey the laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
uphold and enforce
uphold and enforce
the provisions of the Charter
the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of
and ordinances of
the city of Riverside, Ohio,
the city of Riverside, Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Sergeant,
of Police Sergeant,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Give a picture of all of them, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, Chief Jackson, and congratulations to our new officers and our new sergeant.
As fun as the rest of this meeting will be, if you're here for the swearing in, you can
Yeah, feel free to head to the lobby. That's fine. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We'll move along on the agenda. If there's any citizens with us tonight that would like to comment on any agenda or non-agenda items, please fill out one of the slips in the back of this room and turn it into the clerk at the front. We'll move along to our meeting minutes, of which, yeah, I'll wait a second.
Yeah, let's give it a minute.
Rah, 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 rah. Charlie Brown teacher voice. And on YouTube, it just says inaudible, inaudible, inaudible.
Did we see like subtitles at the bottom during the meeting?
We used to.
Not with this system. I think YouTube should be able to auto.
YouTube does.
It doesn't caption it.
It doesn't. It has.
When we used to do it by Zoom, we would do the words, but
Zoom
we
would
do
do
straight
it.
to YouTube now, so I've never seen them.
I think that.
I get the words after.
Maybe I'm remembering it differently, but.
Maybe try to.
I think you have to turn the caption on
Yeah, but if you turn on
YouTube.
closed captioning, something generates.
It might.
There's a transcript that generates after the meeting, but it doesn't show up as like.
I get the transcript after, so.
Yeah, but it doesn't show up like for people who are maybe like hearing impaired.
I think they have to actually turn it on.
It doesn't work. I don't think it works. Like.
I'll look into it.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I will see if there's anybody who wants to approve these minutes from November 3rd. We all had.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion from the deputy mayor and a second from Mr. Denning.
Wait, no,
Second.
Mr. Maxfield.
We have a motion from Mr. Maxfield. He ain't no deputy mayor, let's be honest.
No.
That's Brenda.
Denning.
She's deputy mayor material. Second from Mr. Denning. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carried, minute are approved. We have, Madam Clerk, there is one slip turned in, but it was for a non-agenda item, so there are no slips turned in for public comment on agenda items.
Right.
All right, move into unfinished business, of which we have one ordinance. And, Mr. Manager, this is our second reading, public hearing, and potential adoption for our 2026 budget.
Yes, and just to confirm, there are no recommended changes or no changes to the exhibit on this appropriations ordinance. I know it came up a little bit I think at the last meeting as well. We are required to adopt the budget ordinance by December 31st every year. Should the council in the future want to change anything about the budget while we're in the budget year, that is possible. So for example, if we get into next year and there is a conversation about utility fees or anything else related to the budget, the council would be free at that time to make any policy decision it decides to do. And if that decision requires a budget amendment, we could process that amendment at that time. So this just gets us through this calendar year into next year, and other policy conversations can be ongoing after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we could be like Congress and just shut down the government.
That's not how. No.
But I don't think we should do that.
I don't think we can anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Maxfield and a second from Mr. Brown,
I think it was.
or from Mr. Joseph.
I'll claim that
Came
one.
from this side of my ear. City charter allows for the reading of an ordinance to be done by title only unless a council member requests otherwise. Madam Clerk, would you please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 250872, an ordinance to make permanent appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Riverside, state of Ohio, for the period January 1 through December 31, 2026.
All right. I will open the public hearing for ordinance 25-0-872 at 6:19 PM. Anyone who wishes to comment on the ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments at 3 minutes. Hearing no one and seeing no one come forward, I will close the public hearing for ordinance 25-0-872 at 6:20 PM. Are there any further discussion items among members of council? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Maxfield?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Denning?
Yes.
Ms. Fry?
Yes.
Ms. Lomach?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move into new business, of which we have one ordinance and one resolution. The first ordinance for new business, Mr. Manager, this is for supplementals for the remainder of this year.
Correct. So this is, this ordinance is primarily to make additional appropriations that get us through the remainder of this calendar year. There is another change in this supplemental that is us trying to implement some recommendations and preferences that our auditors have brought forward. So one of the larger appropriations in this supplemental is an appropriation that recognizes grant money that is given from the state for the Woodman project that's currently underway. That historically we've not put on our books. We've recorded our local matches, but the state's preference is that we start to record the total costs even if that cash never hits our books. So that's part of what this ordinance is seeking to lean into. We're going to be in a process of changing that practice as we go forward over the coming months and years. So that really is the largest change here. The other appropriations are for some equipment purchases, for some new detective vehicles, and to actually extend some paving on the Woodman project, which I'll talk a little bit later in this meeting as well. We have an opportunity to do that while saving some mobilization costs, and ODOT is amenable to that. They'll go ahead and let us do it. So this, again, is a first reading. It would come back to you for a second reading in December, and at that point, we would be ready to close out the year.
So move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Wait, we have to do the full,
I haven't read it yet.
let me do that, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
All right, Riverside City Council, or Riverside City Charter allows for the reading of an ordinance to be done by title only unless a council member requests otherwise. Madam Clerk, please read this ordinance by title only.
Ordinance number 250873, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures, fourth quarter, of the City of Riverside, State of Ohio, for the period January 1 through December 31, 2025.
Okay.
So move.
Yeah. So, discussion by members of council.
Yes. Pardon that I was partially paying attention when Josh was talking about how the grant funding is recorded. Can we double click into that? I just want to have a clear understanding of what that, like the change that the auditor is requesting us to do.
Sure, I'll actually invite Mr. Hartlaub maybe to provide a little extra detail. Larry, let me go ahead and unmute that mic though for you.
I got 2 more meetings left, or 3 more meetings. I'm going to gladly get in the weeds for just a couple more times.
Can we, am I on? Okay.
You're good. Yep.
So what they want to see is that basically we're going to book both a revenue and an expense for the expenses they've done on our behalf. And the reason they want to do that is so that our books actually pick up the appreciation to the asset when we report on our GAAP reporting. Because the road is something owned by the city, so it is actually getting appreciated value because of the work being done on it. So we book in the revenue, we expense out the expenses, so it's a wash. It actually doesn't hit our bank account in any way. But that way it just shows the transaction. So the whole cost of the project is actually reflected on the city's books.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think you like kind of clicked into like the part of like the city getting appreciation on things, so that'd be like an asset that
Right.
you're tying that to, and then the funds are offsetting. Okay, that makes sense to me
Does
now.
that make sense?
Yeah, sorry, Josh. I was like, I thought I understood what you're saying, but I was like, I just wanted to just get clarification. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any further discussion by members of council? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Lomach?
Yes.
Mr. Denning?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Fry?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Maxfield?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. We'll move on to a resolution, of which we have one, and this is a change order that you've spoken about a little bit. Josh, you want to expand on this if you need to?
Yeah, this is related to the capital maintenance and projects that we were doing here at the Right Point facilities. So earlier this year, I brought you a change order from ESG that tackled a number of miscellaneous items that we had uncovered during construction. One of those involved fireproofing that was falling off of the ceiling or the floor pan on the 5th floor of the building over there, which is required by code. And at the time, that initial change order was the contractor's best estimate based on what had fallen, and they allowed for a little bit more. So after the change order was approved, they started that project. But in order to be sure they're not putting good fireproofing on top of bad, they actually walk the entire floor with a metal pole and they test it. So they basically poke it, and they catch everything that falls down and then have to go reapply it so that they know that what they're putting up sticks. And the long and short of it is that took several hundred more personnel hours than they had expected because more fireproofing came down. So this change order is the balance of those costs. required to replace that fireproofing and make sure the building is up to code.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a motion from Mr. Denning and a second from the Deputy Mayor. Is there any further discussion among members of council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Moving along on our agenda, we'll move to public comment for non-agenda items, of which we have one person who asked to speak tonight. Is Joe Lemke, 1519 Brant Pike, with us?
Joe Lemke, 1519 Brant Pike. I'm not here to complain, which is a surprise. But I do believe that when good comes, you got to recognize good as well as bad. So we've been up here complaining about you're taking our money, which you still are. I still got to argue that. However, after the meeting, last meeting, I received a phone call. And I had a very nice, long discussion. I had a lot of things explained to me that I was not aware of. Had a lot of pointers to things that I could look up myself. And we had a very good discussion. Point being is, that is what we want a city to do. Now, I understand that city council can't speak for city. You can't speak individually for the city or for the council. But my argument is the council can speak for the council. The city can speak for the city. And we need more communication avenues to the citizens. Not everybody understands the legalese that you put in the political messaging. Not everybody can navigate the internet like we would think. We need to have more avenues to the average citizen, because those people, all they see is that you're doing something I don't agree with and I don't know how to fix it. Or you're taking money, I don't know why, and I don't even know you're taking it until well after the fact. Just a little more communication is all that we're asking. That phone call opened my eyes, gave me a more opportunity to look into things. I'm a little skeptical, but at least I got the feedback. We had a long discussion, and I appreciate that. I understand more than your average citizen. We need to be more communicative to them in simple language so that they understand all the history and the background. We know we got a lot of catching up to do. Understand that. We know we have things that we just ignored for years. Understand that. But let's not try to make it up and not have the understanding of the citizen, because they're the ones that support the city. That's my point. And I appreciate the feedback, and I hope that it will continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lemke. We'll move along to discussion items, of which Josh has a couple. I think the first one is about Woodman Drive.
Yes, indeed. So just very quickly, you're all aware of most folks, if you're driving south of town, are aware of the complete reconstruction of Woodman Drive from 35 up north to roundabout Eastman Avenue.
Very, very well, very well.
Oh, yes. And that project is scheduled to conclude, according to its current timeline, sometime about middle of next year. Of course, if weather and everything is favorable and holds out. We have been working with ODOT on sort of a spitball idea, which is anytime you go and pave a major roadway like that, one of the biggest costs you end up paying for is mobilization. All the big rollers, all the equipment, all the asphalt trucks that they got to bring out, and frankly, the traffic control, the Jersey barriers, the barricades. There's usually a big component of each project that's involved in putting that stuff out. And so the thought was had, well, if we can look at using the contractor, since the contractor will be out there for at least early next year, can we work with that contractor to actually do a little bit more paving that was outside the original area, the original scope of the project? And would ODOT be okay with that? Without wanting to sound critical of our friends at ODOT, because they have a lot of hoops they have to jump through as well. That is a conversation that took many months to have. But I'm pleased to say that they appear to see things the same way we do, and so we have an opportunity to basically work from this part here at Eastman and repave all of Woodman up to the Burkhardt intersection. And if you've been out in front of the new Kroger, you know that got tore up when they were out building the place. It's kind of like the moon out there in parts. So what we've managed to work out with ODOT and the contractor is what amounts to about 1.5 inches worth of shave it and pave it, and then some spot fill if the base needs to be repaired. That cost is about $520,000, and we would also need about 10% additional, so about $50,000 additional for the engineering piece to do all the drawings and actually draw it up. But ODOT agrees in principle to this. It's a competitive price. ODOT assisted with the pricing, and we would save all of that mobilization cost. So we internally had contemplated what the best way the best way to pay for this would be, and it is included in the fourth quarter supplemental as part of the overall expense there. Again, on the theory that there are two funds that we currently have that the auditors have been kind of poking at us to get rid of for a couple audit cycles now. They're the Capital Equipment Fund and the Capital Infrastructure Fund. And I'll defer to Larry too if he wants to reel me in on some of this, but the main distinction is that those funds were set up to kind of catch money and hold it and then to spend on whatever priority was coming out of the next budget. The auditor's preference really is that you set up a fund for a specific project, spend out of that fund, and close the fund when you're done. So they've been kind of on us over the last couple audits saying, hey, you have money in these funds and you ought to just get rid of it. There's not an easy way to return that money to wherever it came from because it's been long enough that it's very difficult to unpack where those dollars are. So our direction is essentially for the Capital Equipment Fund, find some equipment to spend it on, and for the Capital Infrastructure Fund, find some roads or a road to spend it on. So this project, the proposed repaving of Woodman, would assist greatly in being able to move as much of that money quickly on a project that would have a substantial impact on the community. So that's kind of the long and short of why Woodman, why in the fourth quarter supplemental, and why out of that fund. We're mostly trying to marshal these dollars in a way that maximizes return on investment for the taxpayer and gets us a project a little cheaper than it ordinarily would be. So that's just a bit of background on the thought and approach there. If council's interested in changing direction, we can certainly have that conversation. But based on the timing of the Woodman project currently and the work that we got done with ODOT, that is staff's recommendation, at least, about how best to proceed. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
How much funds are in those two accounts?
So inside the Capital Infrastructure Fund, off the top of my head, I want to say about 700,000. So this will take care of most of that funding. And in capital equipment, Larry, I want to say 200,000. All right, so I'm good at remembering something. About 200,000. So with the fourth quarter supplemental, the majority of funding inside those funds will be spoken for. In the 2026 budget, the thought is that the remainder of the capital infrastructure money could be used if we get a track award. So we will have to come up with some local match for the track grant. We can use that money as our local match. And then in capital equipment, that's a conversation. We're going to develop some recommendations about how best to use the balance there. But more to come because we should know about track in February or March next year.
Do we have a ballpark on how much we're saving?
On the mobilization costs?
Yeah, how much we're saving?
I actually don't off the top of my head, but I will get that from you.
I'm just curious, I mean, because if we're saving $100,000 to $200,000, which would be another 50% of the cost, because from what I remember, when we put in the wall repair, the majority of the cost was the mobilization part and the traffic control, and not so much the actual materials. So, I mean, you know, people are going to look at it, $500,000, but if we're saving $200,000 or even $100,000, that's 20% of the total. So I think that's a good reason to do it.
Yep, I will get that number. I'll have that for you by the next meeting.
All right, thank you.
And it also needs to be explained, this money may not be used for residential streets. It has to be on a artery.
Did you have something, Zach?
Yeah, I've been out of the game for a minute, or a year or so, but the guidance on eliminating the capital improvement and the capital equipment fund, and then moving directly to a, like, per project, like making a new fund, which requires an act of council per project. I did a lot of work in Texas, limited work in Ohio, but from my understanding, I'd say if we looked at GFOA circa 1980, that's when the dot matrix printers were real big. That's when we were doing those capital equipment, capital improvement, or the per project funds, when a fund was literally a bank account at a bank. Now we have more, we just spent a couple $100,000 on the new ERP software. I know we have project accounting on that software, correct? And yeah, so having telling the auditor, here's how we separate our funds by project accounting. If that's embedded into the software, I don't see where the ORC or an auditor requirement would be to say that we have to have council approve a fund every time we have a project. That just seems kind of counterintuitive to what the direction the industry's been moving for the last decade.
It's been pretty standard, guys. What's really the particular issue here on the capital fund is that we put this money away without any particular plan to use it. And that's what they don't particularly care for, that it was put in there without a improvement plan. You can use this kind of methodology if we had set up, say, we're going to put $1 million here and this is what we're going to spend it on, right? Like this project, this project, this project. At the time the money was deposited. That was not done here. So they don't like that we don't have a plan to spend it. So they'd rather us clear these funds out and go to a different way of doing it. For these kind of projects, a way to do it is to set up a fund as you're doing each individual project. That way you can track revenue and expenses. We're not going to set up a bank account or anything, it's just electronically. There's a couple different ways you could do it, but that's kind of just a standard way to do it.
And I apologize. I know I'm way too far in the weeds for this, this forum. I will, with Josh, I'll get with you and just set up something, just a departing gift, I guess.
Sure.
Just have this conversation and see if
Happy
we
to
can
have it.
streamline the way that this gets reported back to the board.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions about the Woodman opportunity? We'll move on to other items.
Just 3 general announcements. So the Budget Committee meeting, which is currently scheduled for Tuesday, December 9th, we will need to move that. I have an email out to folks that have been attending those just to find out what's going to work best for everybody. Tentatively, it's likely to be Monday the 8th, but keep your eyes out on the City Council calendar. We will update the date as soon as I've got everybody locked in on that change. The administrative offices will be closed on Friday, November 26th. That's the day after Thanksgiving. And finally, if you're like me, you probably got a postcard in the mail about Rumpke service. And so those should be hitting people's mailboxes if they haven't already. Keep your eyes peeled. It's got some information, general contact stuff for Rumpke. Our staff and the venerable Katie Llewellyn have been working on some other communications materials, which we will have published, I think, next week at the latest, about kind of what that transition period in December looks like. So we'll have a little calendar that sort of goes week by week and says, expect this, do this each week, and here's who to call. So that information will be forthcoming, but really, again, not much actually changing here until we get into the back half of December. That's all I have.
I got mine the other day, and I was really happy to see that it says right on there that the pickup date is going to be the same. So that's going to make this transition much easier for everybody. So other than when they're going to drop off the new
Carts. yeah.
carts is about where we're at.
Yep. It's about as straightforward as we can possibly make it. So, and Rumpke's been a great partner in helping to arrange for all that as well, so.
All right. Just so everyone in attendance and maybe watching knows, there is an executive session on the agenda. So we will go into council member discussion prior to going into exec. So I will start down at the end of the line and ask Councilmember Lomach if you have anything for council member comments.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, of course. I would like to shout out to the service department. Some of you who live over on Spinning, in the Spinning area, were aware last week there was an awful mess. I don't know how it happened. The house was cleaned out and everything in it was put out in the street. Not containerized at all. Furniture and trash and whatever, and it laid there for a couple days. And obviously, the trash company was not going to pick it up. And our service department went out. I called over or came over and asked somebody to look into it. And they did an awesome job over, like in 24 hours, they had it slicky clean. And it was all out in the street. And so I want to say shout out to the street department. I'm sure that's who did it. I didn't see them do it, but they're very responsive. So when you see that kind of thing, please let the city know. Don't let it just sit there and percolate, because we don't want our city to get that reputation. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
All right. Mr. Brown?
Just a couple things. I just want to say it was an honor and a privilege to be able to attend the ribbon cutting for Black Barn Pickleball this past Saturday. And really amazing facility. If anybody gets a chance to go check it out, I highly encourage you to. I'm a pretty avid pickleballer myself, so I was pretty excited. But even if you've never played the game, it's really easy to pick up. And just shout out to Mike Betancourt and his crew, because he has put together something special over there. It's nice to see that land being used for good. And also, I'll echo Sarah's comments and say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody has a great one and able to spend some time with family and friends and enjoy it. So thank you all.
So I know I mentioned a couple times here that time at town council is limited. My chance probably won't be at the next one, so like one more meeting after this one, and then my time here will be through. So with that, Brenda, congratulations on your reelection, and to the 3 council member elects in the audience tonight, congratulations. Deeply, I'm so excited for you guys to come in, and one of you will, I guess, sit in the seat that I'm in currently. And I mean, we've seen it play out the last 4 years. You all and I have not always seen eye to eye. I don't take any harm in that. It's just business, right? And that's the beauty of politics in America. That's you all not agreeing with everything that I've said is a part of what makes a functioning democracy. And my husband will tell you, I need to be called out on my stuff sometimes. So thank you for holding me accountable, for making me a better city council member. And I am excited for the work that you all do to carry the torch on from the last 4 years that I've been here. And at the core of it, as what you're coming into and what I know and have faith in, is that you care about the city. You want to be where you're at. You want to be sitting here tonight. You want to be volunteering to come be on this board if you didn't care deeply about the city. And while we might not see eye to eye on everything, I think we all can agree we care about the place that we all live in. So congratulations, and I look forward to watching you from the other side.
Thank you, Zach. I would also echo congratulations to Brenda, congratulations to Steve, Angel, and Frida. Well wishes, we'll do this much more down the road, but well wishes to the people in our community that have served for years, or the ones who decided to jump in and become a part of the city council after conversations. That's you, Zach. I was so happy to be at the holiday at home, or the hometown holiday, sorry, at Stebbins right after the election, and I saw I saw people that were going to be new to council, people that were going to, that were leaving council, people that were retained on council, and I won't say it was just business as usual, but I thought, oh, that's just so-and-so who's here supporting the community anyway. It didn't necessarily matter what the label was. So I'm very hopeful for the community, as Zach said, moving forward, that the people that are going to be joining us up here care about the community that they're a part of, and that's why they chose to serve, and I think that's very admirable. And hope that we can continue the work we've done and just continue to have good conversations. I was able to come straight here from sitting with a number of residents at the Burkhart Library and just talking about what's going on in our city, listening to their concerns, answering questions as well as I could. And one of the themes that I took away from those discussions was it's good to have conversations and not just kind of type past each other when you're not sitting with somebody and chatting with somebody and seeing them for the person they are. It's easy to not realize that there's so much more in common that you might have. So thank you to Zach, thank you to Sarah, thank you to Mike for being those examples. And we'll miss those who have served us well, and we look forward to welcoming those who are going to be serving with us. Mr. Maxfield.
Echo the comments of, happy Thanksgiving. It's hard to believe it's Thanksgiving already. Gosh, it flies by. Hometown Holiday was a great event. Thanks to everybody who participated and all the service staff that helped set that up. Also, shout out to 937 Barbershop for hosting the dodgeball event this past weekend to raise funds for their community event. Just thankful for all the organizations that we have that do so much for our community to ensure that our citizens have a good holiday experience. I know Lions Club was at Kroger collecting canned goods and resources for their donation this past weekend. And thank you to the students at Stebbins High School, the Leos that assist with that as well. It's nice to see students out there participating and helping with that great organization as well, the Lions Club.
So next Monday is our final blood drive of the year. This is an important one as we head into the holidays. Blood is needed especially much during the holiday season, mostly because of people traveling out of town. Our regular blood donors are not necessarily always available. And then, with inclement weather, there's always a higher demand. So I urge anyone who's able to register to donate on Monday. The blood drive runs from 3 to 6. If you are interested, you can go to donortime.com and type in the city of Riverside and register for a slot.
Right. And Mr. Denning.
I just want to say congratulations to Angel, Frida, and Steve, and Brenda on a well-run campaigns. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Also, had a great time at Hometown Holiday. It was great as usual. It was like a weekend earlier than normal, but it turned out the weather was fantastic, and everybody had a wonderful time. So I thought that was a great community event as always, and I think we need more of those.
Mike, not to interrupt, but did you miss Santa Claus again?
Yeah,
Dang it.
I heard he was there. He came in on
Every
the fire
year.
truck, and it was late.
Well, you need a better scheduler. You need someone to manage that calendar of yours, and you won't miss it.
I guess.
Yeah, well, we'll try again next time, maybe.
Are we doing the lighted fire truck this year? Do we know?
I don't know offhand, but I'll find out.
Okay.
All right, well, it's a late Thanksgiving, which means,
Yeah,
Just
I
like
know,
that.
Right, quick.
just like that, we want to know where Santa is. All right, so we are going into I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for
Move
the
to go
reason
to
listed.
executive session for the reason on the agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Denning and a second from Mr. Joseph to go into executive session for the reason listed on the agenda at 6:50 PM.
Once I call the roll.
Once, of course, the clerk calls the roll.
Mr. Denning?
Here.
No, yes. Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Fry?
Yes.
Ms. Lomatch? Yes. Mr. Maxfield?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. We're in exec at 6:50. Thank you.